Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Tainted and Tempted podcast. I'm your host, Asia. As you know, it's the start of the new week, and I hope everyone is staying warm. It's extremely cold out here in New York City, and knowing that the snow is still on the ground, everything is turning into ice. So, everyone be warm out there and also be safe. I don't want to hear about no accidents, no slips, or no falls. It's the start of the new week. I know people have different priorities. Some people are going to work, some people are doing other things, working from home, whatever that can be. Stay warm and stay safe. So I just want to jump into it for the new topic that I have for today's podcast, and that will be, why is change so important in order to grow? Again, now let me say it again. Why is change so important in order to grow? Now, in life, you have to change. Everyone changes. You have to change in order to grow, to get out of your comfort zone and do the things that you love to do. So I have a little insight on it, so let me jump right into it. Change is important in order to grow because it pushes us out of our comfort zone and helps us learn new things. When we experience change, we are often faced with new challenges. These challenges teach us how to solve problems, adapt, and become stronger. Each time we adjust to something new, we gain skills and confidence. Without change, life can become repetitive and limiting. Staying the same may feel safe, but it doesn't allow personal growth or improvement. Change opens the door to new opportunities, ideas, and experiences that help us understand ourselves and the world better. In this way, change is necessary. It's part of learning, growing, and becoming the best versions of yourself. So, as you can see, I gave a little insight on change and what it stands for and how should we go about it. You should always change. We grow up, we change the books that we read, we change the movies that we watch, we look more into documentaries, and I'm talking about myself. Back in the days when I was young, I used to watch Love and Hip Hop. I used to watch all the reality shows, and now I'm not watching that no more. I'm watching documentaries. I'm watching things that will align with my purpose. I'm watching this YouTuber. His name is Ralph Smart. He's an alchemist. He's a psychologist. He is very great. I watch him. I also have his books, Feel Alive 1 and 2. He is very informative, and it keeps me motivated to keep doing what I got to do and become my higher self. This is what we have to do. We have to change, and we have to get out of our comfort zone. When I started getting out of my comfort zone, I felt a little uncomfortable. And that's what happens when you come out of your comfort zone. You feel uncomfortable. You feel like things are changing. You feel like you don't know where you're going, but that's okay. Keep staying on that path, and you will see that you're going to grow into somebody unstoppable. You're going to grow into a beast. That's how I learned. That's how I got to the point that I am in my life. It had to do with change. I had to change my life. A lot of things changed in my life. I had deaths. I had changes of schools, changing of my living situation. Nothing bad or anything, but I'm just saying things happened in my life that changed me for the better and got me on the straight path that I am. And I want to become my higher self every day. That's why I'm changing the way I am, because I want to grow. I'm getting out of my comfort zone, and I don't want to keep doing the same repetitive things over and over again. I want to change it up. And you have to do that as well. You have to say, you know what? Sky is the limit. Let me change something about myself. Let me not walk home that same direction as I always do. Let me not wake up an hour right before I have to go to work. Let me wake up 2 to 3 hours before I go to work. Let me meditate. Let me read a book. Let me read a chapter. Let me go for a walk. Let me work out. Change is possible. You have to change yourself. You have to change your habits. You have to change everything you do. Is essential that you change. It really is. I can say changing really helped me in my life, and I want to share this with my audience, and I want to let everyone know that change is a part of growth. You're going to make mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and say I never made mistakes in my life. I'm not going to sit here and say some mornings I wasn't motivated to go for that workout, but discipline is key, and that's what pushes you to go for it. Discipline, because you think in the back of your head and say, you know what, this is going to help me for my future self. Let me do something that my future self will thank me for. Let me do something that my future self will be happy that I did. And that's working out. That's doing that workout. I can start off slow. Start off for 30 minutes. Start off for 30 minutes on a treadmill. Start off and then increasingly grow every week. Start off slow. Every time you work out, have a seat. Relax for a little bit, relax for 5 minutes, and then jump right back into it. This is how you got to keep your tolerance up. You can't just overdo it and work out just tremendously on everything, because you're going to get a headache, you're going to feel weak, no, don't do that. Take your time, work at it, and make it happen. Same thing with reading. Take your time, read 10 pages in the morning. Write in your journal. Self-discovery, that's what journaling helps with. It helps with self-discovery. It helps with where you want to go. You can write about what is my purpose in life. That's why writing in your journal is very essential. Sometimes doing it as soon as you wake up, the first thing you do after you get your glass of water, write in your journal. Write 2 to 3 pages and don't stop. Just write, and then say, what? I have the structure of my day now. Now I put all my thoughts on paper. Now I can go forward throughout my day. It's very important. So stay motivated, stay disciplined. Change is essential. Make sure you change who you are, who you becoming. Change your life, and you will see greatness. You will see possibilities. You will see a lot of things changing in your life. I'm telling you, I am attest to say that. Like I said, I watch people all the time. I watch Ralph Smart. I watch other people as well. But this is motivational speeches, and this is motivational things. And this is why I'm doing this more and more, because I want my audience to be enlightened to more and more things about change, discipline, fear, determination, all the topics that I already talked about. I want to shed light to it even more and more, and let people know, let's go, we can do this. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning into the Tainted and Tempted podcast. If you could add me on Instagram, which is Tainted and Tempted _TV, and my Facebook, which is Tainted 2 _ Tempted podcast. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week, and see you next time. Bye bye.